Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Oasis and today is the second episode of my series Owner's Lounge. I originally made this to showcase the community because not everything on this channel is directly about me. There's so many VBs out there and so many people that have such amazing builds that I want to be able to give them the opportunity to kind of show that off as well, and I figured this is a great way to do so. Today, I have a good friend of mine who's going to be joining me, and that's Monk.WRX. You've probably seen him on Instagram, and he's got such an amazing build. And he's got some incredibly awesome stories to tell, and I cannot wait to share this with you guys. So let's get started. All right, guys, I am really excited to have Carlos, aka Monk.WRX, here for our second Owner's Lounge video, which I'm super excited because it's a great series for people to come on and talk about what they've done and what they're doing.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Carlos Antonio. You guys probably know me as Monk.WRX on Instagram. Thank you, Oasis, for inviting me to your Owner's Lounge. I really, really appreciate you.
Yeah, it's, we have, the VB community is getting bigger, and I'm happy to see that more and more people are starting to jump on the bandwagon, the hate's slowly starting to die. And
right.
just, I get on Instagram and I see just all kinds of beautiful cars. And I remember somebody in St. Louis sent me your picture one day. It was like, yo, have you seen this awesome VB? I'm like, yeah, I have. And I even know whose it is. Like, and I have to say, your car, even from the get-go, when I saw it, was one of my favorite looking VBs, hands down.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. But what's crazy is I'm a fan of your car too, and your YouTube channel. You actually got me to stop my YouTube channel because I was like, man, this guy's so good. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm finally here. You invited me, and I really, really appreciate. It's a great honor to be here.
Oh man, look, we're all friends. We're all just, we all share the same love for this car. And again,
Absolutely.
so I appreciate you coming. So what I've got a couple of questions for you. I mean, it's going to be just kind of like casual chit chat, but these are things that I've wanted to know, which is kind of like why I wrote some of these down. So feel free to share as much detail as you want, or just be, however you want to talk. So first, I want to know, you've had this VB since pretty much the beginning. So like, when did you get your VB?
So I actually got the VB around June 14th, 15th of last year. So I've had the car for almost a little bit over a year. Yeah.
Wow, June. Okay, so like
2022.
2022. Okay, interesting. Man, so
it's the VB came out what?
I think it was like end of March, I think.
End of March of last year.
I think so. Did it? Yeah, I think it did.
Okay, I think it came out about, I don't know. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I've had my VB for almost or over a year. Yeah.
Let me see, because now I'm curious because I'm pretty sure it came out like March or April 22. Why? Because they announced it in, yeah, that's right. They announced it in the middle of 21. And it didn't come out till the end, because I remember when they announced it, I bought a 2021 WRX. I jumped the gun and bought it, and I was like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, I want to say it was like early 22, like somewhere around like March or April. Okay, right. So so you saw everything that was going on. I remember that reveal. People weren't like super into it. What motivated you to get a VB?
So actually, when the reveal happened, I think almost everybody reacted the same way. The similarities between the Civic, you know what I mean? That was the first thing that I reacted to personally. I was like, man, what are they doing? But what got me to choose the VB actually was, to be different. Because I came into the game, trying to be unique. That's what pushed me to choose the VB, because I was at the dealership actually with my friend on the phone, and the goal was to have like I said, YouTube platform, Instagram, TikTok, and we were like, who's gonna watch another you know, VA. And
Yeah.
so we're like, all right, let's just
Especially
go with
that
V.
late in the lifestyle. I mean, the V8 2021, that December, I remember when I got my car, I got it in December. They told me this is pretty much like the last ones that they're building.
Right. Yeah, and the fear was this might be the last manual transmission too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was one of the factors as well that made me get with the VB. Yeah.
Interesting. So, like, despite everything you saw, and it's true, it was different and it was incredibly
Yeah.
polarizing. So, I
Yeah.
think I would say it's safe to say you made a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the beginning though, when I, you know, aftermarket parts started going modding, um, you can't really you can't really search anything because there was nobody doing nothing.
Right.
Um, so I ended up being one of the first to actually mod the car. So that was a very interesting journey. If you look at my car in person, there's a bunch of trial and errors, scars, as you can say. You know what I mean? You can see the mistakes because some of the parts don't come with instructions. So
Oh, I'm
you know what
familiar with that
I
problem. I'm
mean?
definitely familiar with that problem.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah.
crazy. So like I actually never knew that. So let's get into
Mhm.
the parts. So currently, I mean, I'm sure there's so much that's been done to this car, but what are some of the highlights of some of the parts that you have on there, both like performance and cosmetic?
Um, Cosmetic wise, there's two. So my wrap is custom design, and then my headliner is custom design. I did that myself. The wrap I designed myself,
Uh-huh.
but I had a shop do it for me. As far as performance wise, excuse me, everything that I have is pretty much custom made by Ray Motorsports.
Yep.
So big shout out to her. Titanium. My front mount is titanium rose gold. The whole piping, I think, yeah, the intake's titanium as well. But yeah, pretty much my every performance part that I have, except for the AOS, of course, Cobb, you know what I mean, is Ray Motorsports.
Okay.
So,
So
hmm
it's like so you was your car like one of the test beds for when she started building a lot of that stuff, or did she already have most of those ideas already?
actually, I was the test.
Oh, okay.
And then later on, when she developed the front mount, she bought her own shop car.
I see.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy because
So,
like I've known about this car for so long, and
yeah.
it has such a history to it. And I wonder how many
Yeah.
people even know that when they see it on Instagram, because you were also saying that, didn't you get some parts from Aeroflow Dynamics like right at the beginning, like when they first started?
Yes. So actually, the design of the canards, Jeff was communicating with me. I don't know if you're familiar with Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Aeroflow VB. So they're asking me, because I probably was one of the first ones that bought their aero kits. So when I put it on, they saw it on Instagram, they shared it, and the reaction was crazy. So they were like, "Hey man, we like your input on um, the design of the canards. Which one do you want? Do you want the long one or the, you know, shark fins or on the side or whatever?"
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Bro, this would look good." So they sent me um, one of the prototypes, and I put it in my car, and it was awesome.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
so crazy because like I kind of wish that I know like your Instagram is doing really well, but like I kind of wish that your YouTube did because there's so much cool stuff, so much like historical things. Because when it comes to we talk about Aeroflow Dynamics and them jumping on that
yeah,
bandwagon hard right
yes,
away to
definitely,
try
yeah,
and
yeah,
fix the problems that
yeah,
a lot of people had with the VB, mainly like the fenders and some of the arrows. So
yeah.
the fact that you got to do that like right out the gate,
hmm
I'm
Yeah.
sure all eyes were on this car.
Yeah, well, I I think so, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but at that point when I bought their parts, it was nobody. Nobody else. I sort of became the advertising of Aeroflow because every picture I post, they put it on their Instagram page.
That's so great.
And then, of course, I think what got them to blow up is because they were the first ones to actually kind of make the VB look good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
In
Add the wing.
some people's opinion.
Right. In some people's opinion, of course. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, yeah. Excuse me.
That's so it's crazy because, you know, regardless of what you think about the VB, you can't say that there aren't a ton of customization options available.
Oh yeah.
Now
Yeah.
especially, because yeah, I remember in the beginning it was a little slow, but man, once it started ramping up, I'd say like around the time, I'd say like November, December, when like tuning was available, I think everything just exploded at that point
Right.
because people
Yeah.
were just going crazy. So you have Aeroflow Dynamics, right? You
Yes.
have Ray Motorsports. What about
hmm
so like tell me more about those wheels and the lift kit or your the air suspension.
Yeah. So as you guys know, well, as my Instagram followers know, I am not the technical type. So I built my car, like yourself. I always applaud the community and the YouTubers and influencers like yourself, Cody, Street Inspired, Joey Metalto.
Definitely, Joey.
Um, you know what I mean? For doing content like you guys do, because that is very informative. On my side of town, I'm trying to make it look good.
Yeah.
I focused on the show side instead of performance. I mean, my car is not that bad in terms of performance, but I can't give out information like you guys do. I'm not on that side of town. But yeah, so the air suspension, it's quite of a long story, but to summarize it, when I first inquired about it with the companies, so of course I went to the highest or the most well known company, which is Airlift, and they told me that they weren't even developing until beginning of May, and they said the first set would come out in October of this year. I inquired last year.
Yeah.
So I found a company in Taiwan called Air Demand Suspension, and they worked with me. They sent me prototypes to try and test fit it. So I bought the part around December of last year, and I didn't put on the air suspension until April of this
Okay.
year. So it was a continuous, hey, this doesn't fit. The
Oh
top
yeah.
hat doesn't fit. The bellow rubs on the tires. You know what I mean? So we were sending measurements back and forth until we got it done.
God, that's amazing. So
So,
you basically you help them develop pretty much that part, like that the entire
yes.
suspension kit. Now I wonder how many of those are selling now. You know.
Oh man, there's a couple actually excuse me. There's a couple of VBs that I know that actually helped get them.
Uh-huh.
And there's a couple that I see that have the system. Especially now that Airlift has released their kit, a lot more VB is
Yeah.
gonna pop up with bags. Yeah.
Well, that's good. See, man, again, there's just so much history with what you've done, and like without people even knowing, just indirectly, some of the parts that they've purchased today are probably because of you and like the work that you've done with some of these sponsors. It's crazy to
Right.
me, which is
Yeah.
why you have such an Instagram fame. I mean, when I saw
Right.
that car, I was like, damn, who the hell is this guy, man, with all these followers? I think the first time I really like looked at your like because I'd seen the car all over the place, but then you had done like your 25,000 follower giveaway, and you were
Yeah.
doing like a live, and I was like. I think I was at my sister-in-law's house just like hanging out. And I was like, I'm bored. I'll just watch this guy's live thing. And I just sat there and I watched you like give away random parts. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool dude. I wasn't even a part of it. I was just there hanging out with people.
Right. I
So
remember.
Yeah, and that was again a very nice thing that you had done.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you guys don't follow him on Instagram, it's Monk.WRX. You want to go check out. And then this video is obviously going to have tons of clips because I will go through and look, and some of the reels. I mean, they are quality, man. I wonder to
Thank
myself
you,
when I
man.
look at them, I'm like, how the hell do you make some like all these cool videos? Like it blows my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see a couple of awards behind you.
Hmm.
Do you mind
Oh,
showing us those and
yeah.
maybe kind of telling us a little bit about those?
Yeah, sure. So this is, oh man, this is the year's compilation of just going to shows. So I think the most valuable one, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this award right here,
Oh,
which
Subifest.
was Subi Fest last year. Granted, there was only three VBs that showed up,
Hmm.
which was myself, Maldonado. I don't know if you guys remember him. The first wide body VB, the white one.
Oh, yes. I saw that
Yes.
in
So
Florida.
yeah, so
Yeah.
me, him, and my guy, that WRX guy on
Okay.
Instagram. I forgot his name, but it was only me, Abraham, and him.
Uh-huh.
And then I took home. They didn't have a category for the VB,
Oh,
so they put us
man.
on the other,
Bro,
the other
that's
category.
awesome.
Yeah, and then the next one would be right here, Slammed Enough, Charleston.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, this is my little collection for the year.
Dude, that's so cool. Look at all these awards you have. You got like trophies and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, but it makes sense when you look at the car, you look at what's on there, and if you go to these events for the show cars, right?
Hmm.
It is apparent that this car is designed to be seen, and it
Right.
stands out, right? It
I,
definitely stands out.
I remember when I finally met Anthony
Uh huh.
at Boxerfest,
Oh yeah.
Drunk Man Tuning. Yeah, D-Man Tuning. Um, Anthony told me, he's like, bro, you can't miss your car because your built is so loud. He's like, your car's so loud, you know what I mean? You anywhere you go, you'll see it. So
Yeah.
I don't know that comment right there made me laugh, but
And it's true.
yeah,
It's true. Like regardless of which angle, right? No matter where you have it parked in, face out, sideways, each side of it has such a distinct design that you
yeah,
can't miss it. You can't miss
yeah.
it. Like I would see it a mile
Yeah.
away, and I've been since I want to say since the last like 4 months, I've been trying to design what I want to put because I still want to put graphics on the car, but like
Hmm.
I know in my mind what I want, but when I go to
Yeah.
get somebody to make it for me, it's just it doesn't come out right. So I'm
Right.
still iterating, and next
Yeah.
year probably I'm gonna finally do it because this is the model, right? I want my car to stand out like that.
Right.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I could get it quite as flashy, because I don't think like that, But
Right.
it really does look good. There's a few others that I know. There's like this candy apple red ish looking VB I
Hmm.
see all the time online. It looks
Yes. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Um, to
He's from California, actually.
Is he? You know
That's
which one I'm
my
talking
VB.
about,
Yeah.
right? It's like a
Yeah. Absolutely.
maroonish.
Yep.
Oh, I saw it
Yeah.
just this morning, and I was like, damn,
Yeah.
is this a
He
render?
just
Like,
wrapped his car, I think, not too long ago. I think about last month.
it's a good looking color. That's a
Yeah.
really good looking color.
Yeah. He made a good choice. I think it's Dragon Scale something. I
Uh
forgot
huh.
what the rap name was called. But yeah, he's from
Ooh.
California. He went to Subifest Cali, and he
Uh huh.
told me that he regretted so much that the appointment was, you know, far, and then the rap came in after Subifest. But I'm like, bro,
Oh man, still,
it's
I'm
still
yeah,
beautiful.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing it places. It's getting
Yeah.
around. The color is getting
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, he's back too.
Oh really?
Yes, he's in our air suspension.
Man,
Yeah.
you show cars, man. Because I put my car in the Jolette Subifest car show just so I can have like a
Hmm.
decent parking spot. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
maybe somebody might say something. Dude, when I saw some of the other cars, I was like, forget it. I should have just done the
Right.
autocross. There's like
Right.
no way I even come close. Like I basically
So
look like a stock car compared to these cars.
Right. Actually, Boxer Fest and Subi Fest gave me the the breakdown because when I came into the game, I thought, or the car scene, I thought that building, was both performance and aesthetics.
Hmm.
And like I said, I'm not that broad in knowledge as far as Subis
Hmm.
because if you didn't know, this is my very first Subaru. Um,
Oh.
yes, I didn't have the VA,
Uh.
so when you guys talk about Cobb, you guys
Uh.
talk about diffs and all those technical terms, the boxer engine and all of this. And I didn't know till after that these cars are very, very sensitive.
Uh.
Almost everything you do on the car, you have to tune it. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So when the ETS intake came in, everybody was excited. I was excited. I bought
Yeah.
it right away. No tune,
Yep.
right?
Without the
And then
sleeve,
Cobb,
probably. At that time, they didn't even have the sleeve.
yeah, no, yeah, they released the sleeve after
Yep.
because people were complaining. Um, but yeah, so finally Cobb came in and I put the Cobb tune on the OTS. I did not know what OTS
Oh
was,
boy.
on the shelf tune, and then my car started running. Uh, so pretty much the whole journey on this car was a you know, new experience for me,
Yeah.
something to learn. That's why um, it's so beautiful. This
Hmm.
experience is so beautiful. I had a lot to learn. I've learned a lot from your channel, like I said, Street Inspired and Joey, on how to do things with this car.
Yeah.
So thanks to you guys. But going back to what I was gonna say, if you're building for the show, just like yourself, I know you're very track heavy. Everything that you do is for the track. That's the same thing for the show. When you go
Uh.
into the show arena, like doors will open up for you.
Hmm.
You'll learn what to do, how to make it look like this, how to make it look like that. So that's the avenue of approach that I went to instead of the performance side.
Hmm.
Because I see a lot of track guys, and honestly, track is more expensive than show cars.
Yeah, it is. It is
Yes,
very expensive.
because we go into the show and park it.
Yeah.
You guys break it down.
It.
Brakes,
It's
um,
yeah.
tires. You know what I mean? All those
And
maintenance that you guys got to
wheels
do.
go in looking new, and they don't come out looking new.
Right. Right.
That's so
Especially
you
with
can't be
you.
yeah, you can't be buying nice wheels to take them to the track. I know people want to do that, but
Exactly.
they won't be show wheels afterwards. Like I have white wheels, I have
Absolutely.
chips all over my wheels now. It's just
Right.
that's just the nature of it.
Yeah, that's the nature of the side that you ventured in.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like that, you'll learn how to do, or you asked earlier how I can make my car look good. When you
Uh,
go into the sides, you'll have references. You know what I
mhm.
mean? So yeah.
I'm just gonna copy your car. I'm just gonna put those parts on. That's my reference.
Right.
I don't even have to think about it. It's like the flip. You're like, oh wait, what parts should I put in performance? I'm like, copy this. And then with you, I'm be like,
Right.
all right, I need canards, I need a wing, I need a
Mhm.
lower the car. But see, I'm getting even further away from it because at the end of this year I am gonna lift the car. I'm going full on
Mhm.
100% rally build. So if I go to the show, it's just gonna be like, look, it's a rally car. That's it. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
there's actual rally. There's rally builds in the
Hmm.
show sometimes, and they actually win because of how they build. So
Yeah.
car shows is not just about aesthetics. Depending on the show that you go to, it's about theme as well. And then to get to know the person, or the mindset of the person, if he had, like, a pattern what he's building,
Hmm.
he has a goal, all that. Some shows, most of the time, yes, aesthetics,
Yeah.
but there are some legitimate shows, or I'm not saying that every other show is
Legit.
not
Yeah.
legitimate,
Yeah. Yeah.
but some shows that are very serious and actually have um credentials,
Okay.
has been in the game for a while, like Tuner Evo. I've seen them when we went to Miami. this year. Yeah, this year, beginning of this year. Oh no, December of last year, we went to
Mm-hmm.
Miami and we saw this really nice third gen WRX built as a rally car.
Okay.
The whole star lifted wheels, this iconic
Yeah.
gold wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Interior was gutted, the long sequential,
Uh-huh.
um, what do you call this? Gear shift, transmission,
Yeah.
gearbox, or whatever you want to call it. And then you meet the guy, and he's not like he doesn't represent Subaru. He's just another enthusiast,
Uh-huh.
that dumped the money to build this car like that. So it was very, very interesting to me. That was one of the highlights of the show, to see another enthusiast just spend I don't know,
Ooh,
eighty
that's a
thousand dollars.
lot of money.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a serious rally build like that.
To park in
But
the
yeah,
garage.
to park in the show, yeah, to park in the show.
Well, that's actually really cool because I was going to ask you, like, what are some tips and tricks for people that want to go into the car show? Because I know, yeah, and this again, and I say this with the greatest respect to people that go to these car shows. Some of your guys'
Mhm.
cars are stock. You ain't winning no shows, okay? I'm sorry. I when I was at Subifest Jolette, I said that. I said, I'm walking around this car show, and some of these
Mhm.
cars went from the lot to the car show.
So,
Y'all ain't winning. Like, if I'm not winning,
right,
you're not winning. I guarantee you're not winning. Like all our cars just look like we're just like the regular parking lot on the outside, right? So
right,
and it makes sense. Like if you want your car to perform really well, you got to put the parts in. And if you want your car to
yeah,
win a car show, well, you got to put the parts in. And so,
yeah, absolutely.
do you have any other advice for people that want to maybe go your route to building something visually pleasing?
um, One thing's for sure: stick to what you believe in, because in the days of this generation, we kind of want to be like somebody else.
Mm.
So, in order for you to be unique, you have to have that special thing in you to put onto your car. And that's why I stick to my guns. Actually, just like yourself, you really love heavy metal, and it became your name. I love the Avatar, the
Oh
anime.
yeah. Okay.
That's where the
That's
monk
the monk.
name, yeah.
Yes.
So
Oh
Monk
wow.
Gyato,
Yeah.
the coach of Aang,
Uh
or
huh.
the mentor. I really love that character, even though he only appeared for like what, one episode.
Uh huh.
So that's where the monk came in. I've had the gamer tag Monk Gyato for like what, 15 years, and then
Wow.
it became,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So again, stick to your guns, be unique, and then don't hate on other people.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
Respect everybody. Um, I know sometimes you feel like you have the, not authority, but the level to be able to speak
Yeah, you
ill.
feel
Yeah,
entitled. Sometimes people
yeah,
feel
basically, yeah.
entitled.
Just remember where you came from.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as going to the build, I just got into a lecture, but going back to the build, just be personal with it.
Hmm.
Um, Make sure to be, I don't know, like, don't copy, pretty much, like, don't try to be somebody else, because when you try to be somebody else and the people don't like give you a hard time, you're
Hmm.
pretty much going to break down.
I
You know
see.
what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. If somebody copies your build piece for
Yeah.
piece, people will know, right? They'll
Yeah,
know that
absolutely.
you just copied Buck's car. Like, even if it's
Hmm.
like a little bit different. I mean, you know, that is some really good advice. Okay, that is
Yeah. Have
actually
a theme.
very good advice. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the not
Thank you.
hating on people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's
The
hard.
hate.
I know it's so hard for some people to just not say something, especially on the internet. But
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have to stop doing it. We just have to
Yeah.
stop doing it.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's like tempting, but you just have to, like for example, like when our cars first came out,
Hmm.
and our platform, it's like, man, it really does look like, You know what I mean? Like it looks like what everybody else is playing.
Yeah.
And then you start to actually mod the car and you see the potential.
Mm-hmm.
So I came into the platform. I was like, man, wheels, suspension, intake, and a tune. Next thing you know, I'm 10K down, 15K. Um, companies hitting me up, hey, put this part on my car. And then when they give me a part, they offer another part that's better or can make your
Mm-hmm.
car look good, even more. And then you're like, hey, let me get that. You know what I mean? So it just starts, the bug kind of bit me and it
Mm-hmm.
never went away. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
thankfully for us, we're glad that
right.
it did because we have such an amazing car to look at. You have a wealth of just fantastic reels and pictures on your Instagram, of course, Monk.WRX. If you're not following, make sure you go follow. It's
Mhm.
it's a good one. And, I
Thank you.
hope that one day that I can see you at a show. Most definitely. I will make sure to
Yes.
find you next year. All those Subi
Yeah.
Fests. I will try to go. I said this year I'm going to try to go to every one, but after talking to my wife, that may not be possible.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
travel can be costly. You know what I mean? Well, if Ray doesn't hit, excuse me, if Ray doesn't hit me up for next year's Boxer Fest,
Hmm.
then I'll definitely be in Florida for sure.
Okay. I'm going to
Yeah.
try to make Boxer Fest. I'm going to try to make Boxer Fest, and I'm going to go to Florida for sure. I don't know where else I'll go. I'll probably I'm going to go to Illinois, obviously, because it's just right
Hmm.
next door. And
Right.
I'm going to try
Yep.
to make it down to Texas because,
Hmm.
if I can make it down to Texas, I might have a shot with like stopping by Cobb and talking to them for a little bit.
Ooh,
That would be really cool. So
that
that's
would be
we'll
really
see.
cool.
We'll see what next year holds because I've got a lot of plans and I'm sure you got a whole lot more to go to.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of it. I don't want to drag this out too long. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this type of content. This is my favorite thing to do is to talk to other people about their cars. And so, Carlos, I appreciate you coming on the channel and telling us your story because it was actually way more involved and historical than I ever even imagined.
Man, thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.